And we are live. And a very warm welcome to you all. This is MRF 2010 season and the third round of this championship. And it's still free practice with 13 minutes left. And we've got a small grid today. We've got Hunor, Gökhan, Jean Durand, Bence, Robert, aka Zoli, Arturo, Yura, Ivan, and an amigo. And the band should be rejoining soon. Seems like the mod is already producing a couple issues with the gearing. And this is the secondary series. After this, I'm going to put a link to the official MRF YouTube channel where both seasons can be watched. I'm doing a live commentary for this one today because I'm on a one race ban and I have no idea what Ivan wants. That's driver number 10 is back, and hopefully Bande will rejoin soon as well, which means that we'll have 11 drivers today. Yes, I know it didn't make any sense. Oh, not me. And it seems like Hunor finally put in a very good lap, 132.4. So as I said, this is the secondary series with a smaller grid, initially created to have some extra seats as we ran out of free spaces within the teams in the original 2000 season. So we created this mostly for some weekend fun. It's slightly different as we're using RFE and random weather accordingly. So this could get a little bit chaotic with the random rain. Narukami is back. So the way things look now, everyone who finishes this race will get points, as we still have 10 minutes left of the free practice, which is then followed by a 15 minutes qualifying session. And after that we'll proceed to the race, which will be a 19 lap race, so 1/3 of the actual race distance, with tire wear set to ×4 and fuel usage set to ×3, and we also have mechanical failures on time scaled with a time scale on ×3 as well. And yeah, the way it looks, it's gonna be 11 drivers today if everyone makes it back. Obviously there's still a lot of time left, so plenty of time and opportunity for everyone to get back. So Gunnar is in for a good time, it seems. I mean, he's been having some good races. And we can watch Bande and Robertson in tow, following each other. Bande is currently, that was a little wide. Is currently second in the championship. The championship leader is not here. However, the championship third place is. Let's see where he is. Ah, there he is. So Gökhan Lee is third in this championship. However, he's only driving in this series part-time. So he drives here every 2 weeks in a rotation with a different league. I don't know if there will be more people in the future races. This is something that's up to the people. We actually have a relatively large grid on paper, actually full. Actually, there is someone who said will be here but is not. So we're going to have a look. We're just going to ask him whether or not he intends to show up for this race. And we're on board with Gökhan. Drifting a little bit sideways, it seems, at least to me, in that corner. But somehow he's still been able to put up a 1:32 lap time in the unofficial practice session. Here, have a look at his face. I'll stop this. And that's an Amigo right there. So 4 minutes left of the session before we go over to the qualifying. And that's Bande right there. So Caterham is in full force. And despite my race ban, Renault is also in full force, as our reserve driver is here. Virgin, both drivers are here too. And they're out on track. Andersson, great choice of name. Thank you very much for that. Arturo, his teammate who's leading the championship, is not here. Now you probably know after this why. This actually gives me some visibility of sector times and everything else I need to see here. And Gökhan has an encounter of the third kind with the Vol. That was a big one. Very interesting way to slow the car down. He's probably testing the damage model. So that's Ivan back. And a bit more than a minute left of the practice session, and then we hop over to the qualifying. And it seems like we are in for some pretty good weather, as in there's been no rain yet, which from my previous test sessions is more than surprising. Two, one, and that's the practice session over. And it will jump automatically. Voter. Alright, so you have voter tires. And yes, there is no refueling, as you can see in the discussion. But a full tank can easily carry drivers all the way to the end of this race. And it's Ivan finishing his lap, going by the name Jean Baguette. And actually the reason we have this bunch of weird names here is him, as he started this whole thing with joining this name, and then everyone went crazy and made up some random names. And he gifts us a bit of a drift. I wonder if the server gives him enough time to finish the lap. Well, that's an invalid lap anyways. But he probably lost quite a bit of time with it. And he doesn't finish the lap, but goes on to test the damage model. That's one thing to do. And now we're over to the qualifying session. Hopefully everyone will be able to rejoin. And Hunor is having an absolute blast, it seems. And everyone slowly appeared. And we're going to have a look at Hunor, who's starting the qualifying session. Well, so some of the guys just left before the qualifying even started. Very smart, actually not. So let's see how Hunor will do. So far he was fastest during the practice session. Hopefully he can keep this form for the qualifying as well. And this time it seems a little dark here, so we have a fair chance to get that rain I was talking about earlier. It's not raining just yet, but there might. And here he comes, starting his first hot lap. And here comes Gökhan, Bande, Robertson, and there's a bit of a tussle between the Renault and the Virgin of Robertson. Yep, actually both of them is going to lose quite a bit of time here just by racing each other. It would be wise for one of them to just stick behind and use some slipstream from the other to improve the lap time. Bence is out as well in his Williams. Arthur on the way. No idea who that is. Still didn't load the texture. Great. And let's see how Hunor will be doing as he's on the final straight and to the final corner. $133.2, not bad at all. Spencer super soft, and that was Jean Baguette. Actually quite a bit behind. So currently is Hunor in the lead. That's Jean Durand. And that's a 136 by Bence. Bande in second. Arturo third. Anderson fourth. Bence fifth. Ivan sixth. Narukami seventh. And Echo and Dinamico doesn't have a set lap time yet. That still doesn't load. Interesting. We'll be watching a temp car. So, just so we have a quick look at the current standings. And Hunor seems to be absolutely unbeatable right now. Bande is getting closer. And he just stops. For whatever reason. I guess we'll never know what happened there. And we got Robertson up to third place. And Echo as well, who's actually in a 0.045 up on his previous time and only 2/10 of Hunor. However, at the end of Sector 2, he managed to improve compared to himself, but actually lost quite a bit of time to the current pole sitter. But he might just be fast enough to claim third place. No, he did not, but he improved by 3/10. And here comes Arturo, who's starting the fast lap just now. And Bence is on an out lap as well. And that's the second Renault going wide. Bad move. Enemigo. Let's see that first sector. It's actually sector 2 already, never mind. I'm just talking out of my arse here. That corner was very nicely taken. And he's almost 2 seconds down on Hunor's current pole time. So there's not gonna be much of an improvement out of that on this lap. That's... Now we have Gökhan with the temp car. Nice! And Hunor is actually up on just a bit over 1/10 on his own time. So he's well on the way to bring it back down below 133. So he might actually get back into the 132s. And he's down 6/10, more than half a second. So that's not gonna be a 132 quite possibly. 130, 131, 132. No, that's 8/10 slower than before. And Bande is coming and he's 3/10 faster than Hunor. Currently sitting on P2, but with a good second sector, he actually might take over the pole position and could potentially become the first to make it below 133. And I'm just here expecting the rain, but it just doesn't come, which makes me sad. Hopefully we'll see some during the race, like the typical Malaysian monsoon mid-race could spice things up quite a bit. And he's still 2/10 faster. And here he comes, but there's, I think, a Renault right in front of him, which, yeah, it's already out of the way, so it's not going to cause him any trouble. Let's see, 130, 131, 2, 3, and Bande takes the pole position just as the qualifying session is over. Very well done. And I think that's everyone. Well, Yuda is out on a lap, Enemigo, Bence, few people are actually still out on laps. And he actually never made it to 133, 132, but he did a very low 133. So the starting order will be Bande, Hunor, Robertson, Gökhan, Durand, Arturo, Anderson, Enemigo, Bence, Ivan, and Narukami. Very good qualifying session. So hopefully it's going to be a good race as well. And I took a screenshot. So I think then the only thing left to do as the 5 minutes warm up right before the start of the race. Last chance for everyone to take care of everything they need and to test their race setups. And it seems like we might have some nice weather at least for the start of the race as everyone is loading in. And that's the HRD coming out. I almost said Minardi because I'm just so used to Arturo driving Minardis. Bit of chaos already forming. Some people practicing the race start. Hunor cuts through. One of the virgins spins into the wall. And I want to be back with the HRT as he just got overtaken by Anderson's Virgin. And just decides to have a look at the grass. And there's Jean Baguette. Right, so we still have these kind of retarded setups where you have the car going sideways. Very, very interesting. And now it's nothing but some peaceful testing from most of the drivers. A few remain in the pits. Arthur going a little bit wide there. That's a very interesting suspension behavior right there. It seems like all the cars are doing it, so might be more mod related, but they actually had it in the previous mod as right now. This is a new one, as we encountered some league breaking bugs in the previous one. That's very interesting. Pure comedy. And it is what it is. It's the less serious of the two series. So I hope this answers his question. that's 5 seconds down on Hunor. I should put the name tags back on. Because for now I can't recognize everyone just by their helmets. And that's a finished lap, perhaps even a finished session. As Hunor is entering the final corner and the final straight. That's a 1:39. We'll see what that's gonna be enough for in the race. Yep, that's the session over, so we'll be on the way with the race in just a short time. As everyone remaining just finish their laps. And we'll be on with the actual race. Some interesting lap times. So that's everyone finished, so we just wait until the session jumps over to the next one, which is gonna be the race. 19 laps. For now it seems the weather is gonna be alright, at least for a while, and we'll see what happens later on. Bit of banter.
Attention grid, all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
Only 30 seconds left to the start of the race. As we're waiting for everyone to appear on the grid. And here we go. That's a bit of a distance between the two Caterhams for a multi-21, but that's a good try. And we are almost underway. Here we go. And Hunor gets a great start. He goes away, and the two Virgins had a good start as well. 3 wide into turn 1. No, that's just 2. Gökhan is there, going deep on the inside. And that's a bit of a contact between Robertson and Bande. And a bit more contact behind between the Renault and the HRT. And it seems like Gökhan has the lead, Hunor second, and it's still a bit of a tussle, and that's Narukami in contact with, I think that was one of the Caterhams. Hopefully he can continue. Yeah, that was an Amigo. And that puts him quite a bit behind. Do I see his car status? No, I don't. So Gökhan is in the lead, followed by Hunor. Robertson, Bande down to 4th. He lost a lot during the start and into turn 1. And then right behind him, Ivan actually got a lot out of the start, up to 5th from I think he started last or in the penultimate place, and Gökhan goes for the overtake into the last corner deep on the inside. Hunor goes on the outside and Gökhan gets the position back, and this gives Robertson the opportunity to cut a bit of the gap. And now Gökhan has a surefire lead, despite Hunor trying, looking everywhere, inside, outside, all the way into the second corner or the third. But it's just not to be. He definitely has the pace, but knowing Gökhan, he has the racecraft to keep him behind. But we definitely might be in for an interesting battle between these two, especially if they slow each other down enough for Robertson to appear right behind them, and he's definitely closing that gap, though it seems to me that they can open it up a little on the straights as Hunor is trying to dive on Gökhan, but it still doesn't work out for him. And Arturo is already out of the race. That's unfortunate. And that's a Renault in 5th place. Huda on 6th. Enemigo and Benza having a bit of a battle, and it seems like Benza pulled it off. Yes, he definitely did. Narukami on P9, and oh well, what happened to our friend Baguette? Well, I guess we'll never know. Certainly something bad. I mean, at some point he was up to P5 and now he's down to P10. And we still have this battle going on between the first 3 now, as Robertson definitely arrived and joins the battle for the podium spots. And let's not forget, there is still Bande just inside of 2 seconds. And as long as they keep battling each other, he has a chance to catch up and join. And Duran is there in 5th place as well, just shy of half a second behind Bande, which means that there might be a 5-way battle for the first 5 spots. And the rain is here! The rain is here already in lap 2, just as expected. So for now it's a relatively light rain, but the spray is forming, so at some point they will definitely have to consider going out to the pits for a set of inters, or if it gets worse, then maybe even a set of wets. So here we go with the first race that may end up in absolute rain chaos, just as we love it. And that's Yuda on P6, not disturbed by anyone. And I think there's been a bit of a contact between Enemigo and Benza. We'll have a look after the race. Hopefully nothing bad happened. Arthur is out of the race, and Ivan is a lap behind. No, not yet. Unfortunate. And now Gökhan managed to open up quite a bit of a lead, more than 2 seconds in front of Hunor. It seems like he has a bit of a better control over his car in this forming wet layer over the tarmac. And now Robertson is going for the overtake on the inside, very deep, and that's Hunor's engine gone. What a shame. That's the first engine failure, which leaves us with two drivers down. And now it's Robertson and Bande for second and third place. And I think, yeah, I saw one of the Renaults pulling into the pits, but he didn't seem to pick up. Yeah, no, he didn't pick up Inters. He picked up another set of slicks, or maybe that was just for repairs. I don't know. And that's Narukami out in the pits. Well, he's coming out of the pits. And we still have Hunor on track. Well, it seems like the water has been enough to stop the fire in the engine department. And Gökhan is about to lap Ivan. Going a little off. Well, that's still within the track limits in this series. But he managed to pull away by 3 seconds, almost 4, well, 4 seconds now, to Robertson, and he's going to come out to the pits this lap, as Robertson and Bande will not, and they keep on. So let's see what is he going to get. No, it's either me not seeing it, but so I'm not entirely sure. But if he came out for Inters, that was a big mistake from him, because the rain has stopped. So yeah, I can definitely not see it. So I don't know if they actually came out for Inters, but hopefully not, because as you see, the rain is over, which means that track will dry up pretty quickly. And the rain is back. And that's Baguette in the wall. That's his race over. Seems like the engine died. So that's 3 down. And that puts Robertson into the lead with Gökhan's pit stop, closely followed by Bande, just a bit more than half a second behind. And Gökhan is a solid 14 seconds down. But he's already been to the pits. Duran on P4. Anderson on P6. Bence on P6. How? Oh, we probably overtook Narukami, who's on P7. Enemigo on P8. And that's Baguette out of the race, so that's why everyone got an extra position. So there's a bit of carnage, and Bande is coming out of the pits. Back to P4. So Duran took third place. And it's a very light rain right now, stopping as well from time to time. So at this rate, I'm just not gonna say anything regarding the weather. Right now it stopped again. It might just restart anytime. So it still remains to be seen. And this allows Gökhan to take back the lead. And that means he's now more than 6 seconds ahead of Robertson. As he crosses the, well, not the finish line, the sector marker and the final corner. Here comes Robertson. And judging from the sky, the rain is now definitely gone. So if they happen to put up inters, which doesn't seem like it, and they might have to come back out for another set of slicks, as in this part the track is mostly dry. There's a little bit of spray left. And now it's the Renault versus the Caterham. Bande on 3rd place. And it seems like the field has split up quite a bit. So now it's settling into some quiet driving. As the rain restarts once again. And that's a yellow flag. Who was that? Robertson. What happened? Engine. The engine blew up. What a shame. It seems like we're having quite a bit of an issue regarding reliability, or maybe just everyone forget to set up the radiator, and the water cooling from the rain seems to be not enough. And that's almost off the grid, out of the race. Gökhan in 1st, 12 seconds ahead of Bande. And it seems the rain is going to be on and off for this race. However, so far it doesn't seem to make such a big difference. Duhan in 3rd. Now that Robertson is out, Anderson right behind him, just 1.5 seconds, and then an Amigo in 5th, Bence in 6th, Narukami 7th, and Robertson is out of this race. As we are about to, well, as we pass the halfway mark of this race, and we're settling into the quiet rhythm as we watch Bande with the Renault closing in. And in turn the Virgin is closing in on the Renault. So this might still be an exciting race for the final step of the podium between the Renault and the Virgin driver. I mean, obviously the car is the Virgin. Vance on a steady 5th place. Narukami 3.5 seconds behind. And an Amigo behind him. So there might be something in for us for the second half of the race here as well for the final point scoring positions. And the way things look right now, everyone is going to get points who manages to finish this race. And Gökhan is steadily holding on to that 30 and near 30.5 seconds lead, so good consistent pace by him. And I think he should be doing his second pit stop soon. And the sun is definitely out now, which means the rainy time might be over. Narukami is out of the race, and I'll never know why. Which means there are 6 drivers left. There is still some water left on the track, but you can already see the dry line. I think Narukami also had an engine failure, as Gökhan is getting bored, more than 14 seconds ahead of Bande in second place. And Bande will pit at the end of this lap, and I see some rain forming. Yes, the on and off rain is back again. But at this point, I don't think it will make a significant difference for the remainder of the race, so we just need to hope that the engines can take the punishment. Pretty realistic so far, a lot of rain and a lot of blown engines, just as you would expect from a Malaysian Grand Prix. And Anderson took 3rd place. And that's Gökhan out of the race. Yes, he's definitely out of the race, which leaves Bande in the lead. And he's coming into the pits. So Anderson will, well, he probably won't take the lead with 20 seconds down. He's just crossing the final corner, and Bande is already on his way out of the pits, so he keeps the lead. And Anderson comes up to 2nd. Duran 3rd. Bence in 4th, Enemigo in 5th. And that's what's left. So that's 6 drivers out of the race. Out of 11. And there's still 7 laps to go. So there still might be a bit of excitement. So certainly an interesting, eventful race. And Anderson is in red a lot in 7th gear. So it seems that radiator settings and obviously revving high did cause problems. Enemigo's engine somehow is still working. At this point we'll just make bets on whose engine's going to blow next. So Bande in the lead by 10 seconds, followed by Anderson, and Duran is catching up with only 5 laps to go, and hopefully everyone else that remains can finish this race. And I saw an engine blowing up. Yes, I did. That's an engine blowing up. That's Anderson's engine. Gone. That's unfortunate. Thank you, Ivan, for the comments. That's both Virgins out, which puts Bence up to 3rd place. And hopefully Bande will last the remaining 4 laps. And the Renault as well. Well, at this rate I just hope that whoever's left will be able to take it home. It's not long to go. Amigo still might have a chance to take podium from Bence. And the rest of the race, if everything stays like this, is as good as settled. And we probably might end up making some changes. Maybe use failures time scale 2. Because it seems like the engine goes easily. So that's 4 people who remain, with 3 laps to go. Rain doesn't matter anymore. Just won't rain that much that it makes a difference. It probably would have changed things if it remains steady instead of just being on and off. But it is what it is. Ultimately, it wasn't the weather that made the difference in this race, but reliability. And it seems like Caterham's reliability is amongst the best, as both of them are still in the race with only 2 more laps to go. And one of the Renaults is still in contention, and the Lonely Williams as well. So this at least gives us a picture what reliability is going to look like for the remainder of the season. And here we have a bit of a graveyard. Arturo, Hunor, Ivan, Zoli, Narukami, Gökhan, and Yuda all out of the race. As we had in Bahrain with a lot of brake failures, now we ended up having a lot of engine failures. And in the previous round we had a lot of accidents. Where is Enemigo going? Oof. I'm not sure if that's what he wanted to do, or maybe his brakes failed, or something definitely did. Bence is coming out of the pits. Yeah, so it seems like he just made a mistake and crashed into the pit wall, or the pit entry. And Bande is on his final lap. And his engine's on fire. Oh no! That just can't be. On the final lap. Unbelievable. This track just destroyed engines like like nothing. Enemigo got his car fixed. So hopefully he can finish the race, so at least the first three on the podium get something. So certainly a very interesting race, and it reminds me more of some 90s shenanigans than to an actual 2010. Which means then it's going to be a Renault win as he comes across the final corner and through the finish line, and he wins the race. And Enemigo comes in, well, he's gonna be third because his teammate, yes, his teammate will be classified as second. And that will be 4 classified finishers. Renault first, Durand Bande second, Enemigo third. What are they doing? And Benze fourth. All right, so that and that concludes this race. Thank you all who suffered through it, and I'll see you at the next one. Goodbye.